All right, everyone, welcome back to the Tough Lift Podcast, episode 38, first one of the new year, 2025. This one we have dubbed the New You or Same Bullshit. All right, yeah, this is a resolutions episode. All right, resolutions or goal setting or whatever fancy term you want to call it. Let's go ahead and let's break those down. This is going to be a short podcast because, to be blunt, you're either doing it or you're not. Okay? I, for one, will say that goal setting with my athletes is one of the hardest things for many of them to do. I call it a hot take. You guys are afraid of goal setting because you're afraid of the consequences and the feelings you'll have if and when possibly you do not make the mark. Say it. That's what it is. I would love to hear the counter arguments. All right. That is perfectly okay, though. It's perfectly natural as humans. All right. To be upset with oneself when you set out to do something and you fail. But unfortunately, failure is part of the game. It's how we respond to failure that defines the type of person we are. All right. I had said for the last decade I was going to lose weight. This year of the decade, I decided to finally start doing that. Shit happens, you know? The biggest thing with resolutions, okay, the new year is just a good reset point. All right. And I don't necessarily bash on resolutioners. I think anyone doing fitness in general, getting up, going for a walk, if their life has been sedentary, is fucking outstanding. Now, what I have a problem with is the people that continue to say they're going to do something, start it up, make a big hype about it, and then 2-3 weeks later, they're out. You're problematic because you have no follow through. And then you go and whine to everyone the rest of the 333 days of the year how you can't just seem to get it going. You need to change your processes up, is what you need to do. Now, with Olympic weightlifting, I am extremely fortunate that our sport, by its nature, is semi-intimidating, definitely hard, definitely mentally straining, semi-attracts the black sheep and social weirdos, to where we don't get many resolutioners that are just coming off the street deciding, hey, I want to do the fucking one of the hardest mentally and physically sports in the world. So generally, people that come in actually want to do it. Now, whether they stick around after realizing how hard it is, that's another story, but proud to say we have a very low membership fall off at the gym. Most of the people that come in love what they're doing, love the facility, and they stick around with us. Now, any other fitness regimen, that's all going to be based on them. Whether you're doing the Globo Gym, whether you're running, whether you've decided that you're going to start adventure racing, I don't give a shit what it is. You still need a plan to go with that. Running headfirst into something you're starting is generally the bad idea. So I definitely think that goal setting should come along with resolutions. And I'm not going to turn this into a goal setting episode, but I am going to state that making some simple goals for whatever your resolutions are, and then maybe having some peers or professionals like coaches that can help you stay in check will help you see the benefits of that goal setting and what your resolution is. So again, whether you want to start a 401k or you want to lose 40 pounds, each of those can have the processes I just said attached to them. Now, when it comes to the gym directly, when it comes to weightlifting directly, because that's clearly my bread and butter I'm going to talk about here, is you need to make sure that you're also reviewing what you've done in the past. Making a big fancy resolution may just actually be as simple as you checking yourself and calling yourself on the bullshit. A lot of times, athletes make big adjustments to their training because they stop doing the bullshit. And what I mean by that is, if you start paying attention to your training instead of your fucking cell phone, you'll probably have a better training session. If you start paying attention to your training instead of making it a fucking social gossip hour, you'll probably have better training. Benefits of better training are better health, longevity in training, feeling better, all the things that come with it. Now, I'm not saying become like a social curmudgeon and don't talk to people, but being focused when your foot hits the wood is probably going to be beneficial to your training status. Now, other things that are probably just bullshit things you can check that don't need to be necessarily big goals or resolutions are just simple things as asking your coach what you need to be focused on, sitting there and making sure, hey, am I actually landing flat? Hey, am I actually balanced? Hey, am I squatting to proper depth? All these basics. And this is again catered to the athlete that's been in the gym for a while. Are you doing the basics? Are you doing them well? If you're not doing the basics very well, then all the hard shit is probably going to falter and it does not build upon itself very well. The foundation of a building needs to be settled before multiple layers can be put on top of it. This is the bullshit I'm talking about. If you cut that bullshit, you can actually make a good goal that you can rise to. Unfortunately, the bullshit usually is the fun stuff. It's usually the passive things that you have to pay attention to, and or it's the things you're sick of, quote unquote, worrying about. Well, if you fix it, you'll not have to worry about it anymore. Okay? So, moving forward, when it comes to the new you want for yourself as an athlete in the gym in the new year, I think you need to look at it in a couple of ways. How do I mentally want to be as an athlete? What is my mentality when I come into training? When I walk through the door, all right, that threshold, as I call it, am I letting the bullshit from outside bother me? And I'm going to continue to let it itch at me and distract me, or this hour or two that I've carved out for myself, I'm going to actually dedicate to myself. That's one way. Physically, am I sleeping enough, eating enough, and taking care of my body in a way that promotes me to continue to get better? That is going to create a new version of myself or a improved version of myself heading into the new year. Or am I going to do the same bullshit I've done in the past? Again, things you can self-check very adequately and easily. Or if you want the worst, ask your significant other and or peers in the gym. They'll happily call you out on it. Because ironically, they actually want to see you succeed, maybe even more than yourself. And then I think the other one is maybe spiritually. And I don't mean in a religious sense, but in the sense of how bad do you want to be there? I think a lot of times people just get up and go to the gym because it's the expectation they've put on themselves. The drive to actually want to be in the gym, the drive to actually want to learn, and the drive to actually want to memorize movement patterns and continue to get better and improve upon things as if it's a skill of speaking a language or learning a long dance form is what you need to be doing when you're doing weightlifting. A lot of times I see athletes just come in and go through the motions. They're not getting better because they're just, again, going through the motions. These things all combined can be extremely powerful and move you into a better position heading into a new version of you. If you continue to do the bullshit with them and just passively get by, you're going to have a passive training year and you're just going to be sitting here at the same fucking numbers, doing the same bullshit, upset with yourself. Tough words, but they need to be said. So I challenge all of you in the new year, make some changes, cut the bullshit. You can still have fun while doing it, but let's see those newer versions of yourselves so you can get to where you want to be, putting those heavy bars over your head. Nice and short, like I said, guys. Now it's on you.